Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Morniel here, and hope you're all well on this windy Wednesday afternoon in Donegal. I'm joined today by another amazing entrepreneur and friend. His name is Dan Lievens. He is the founder of The Proof. If you've never checked out The Proof, definitely check it out. An amazing opportunity to engage this year. And Dan to engage with a thought leader, a change maker, an all-round amazing guy. And we're going to have a conversation right now about all things business, our why, our purpose, and anything else that comes up along the way. So Dan, why don't you say hello to everybody here in the Facebook world?
Hey, hello, Facebook world. So I'm based out of Austin, Texas. So it's still morning. So good morning, everybody. So excited to be on here. And I think the important thing here is that we, as thought leaders, as entrepreneurs, we really get an opportunity to shift the trajectory of the world, right? So conversations like this are critical in today's times because we get to make change. There are so many unknowns and there's so many opportunities. And, with COVID, there's a lot of blessings in disguise. So yeah, very looking forward to this conversation, Maura. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you're so welcome, and really well put. There are so many blessings, and there is so much crazy stuff as well.
Yeah.
So, tell me, what's it like in Austin, Texas, right now? Because it's a world away from whatever it's like in Donegal.
So we actually just moved from Philadelphia in June to Austin, and we were kind of tired of the East Coast energy a little bit, and Pennsylvania especially was on severe lockdown. Everything was closed. And so moving to Austin, we actually had more acquaintances in Austin than we did in Philadelphia. The energy here is very powerful. There are a lot of online influencers, entrepreneurs. A lot of tech industries are moving to Austin. Tesla, Amazon, Apple, Dell, they're all here. So the energy here has been big. Like they say, everything is big in Texas. I thought that was just kind of funny, but it really is very expensive, even though we're at home. The creativity and everything is a lot wider and possibilities are greater. So we've done really well in terms of creating new things and being dialed into a different energy. So it's been absolutely a blessing to be in Austin.
It sounds like a complete refresh and reset, like going somewhere like that. I've never actually been to Austin, but I've heard lots of really cool things about it. Isn't it Austin? Is it that's where they have that really big festival? What's it called
South
again?
by Southwest.
That one. Yeah.
South by Southwest. Huge, takes over the town. Unfortunately, they had to cancel it this year, and it drives so much revenue for the town. So definitely people have suffered from that, but hopefully we'll be back on track next year.
Me too. So I knew when you were in Philadelphia and you were inviting people to get on your stage with The Proof, and just to share with people first what The Proof is, so that people know, and then I'm going to ask you some questions about that.
Sure. So let me kind of back up a little bit and share like why we even created it. So having been in the startup world and primarily in technology, running incubators and accelerators, there was just constant just cheering on the underdog, cheering on entrepreneurs, because without entrepreneurs, if we all worked for somebody else, then there wouldn't be much change in the world. It's the entrepreneurs that really are, see how they can personally make the world a better place and go against the grain and sacrifice so much, right, to do something positive. But yet it's so difficult, and so many of us come from a space of scarcity and a fight uphill. So we really started thinking about, how can we really elevate people that are out to make the world a better place? And one thing that we were able to really lean into is the visceral emotional connection between human beings, and really being able to let other people understand why you do what you do. Like, what's the inspiration behind your purpose? What's the energy that wakes you up in the morning that says, yes, I'm going to sacrifice another day with no pay or whatever that is to do this thing. And to be able to articulate that energy, to be able to articulate your why, immediately it gets people to connect with you, right? And then that's the most powerful form of marketing, is when you can have that emotional connection with your audience. So we created a stage very much like a TED stage, but instead of the idea worth sharing, it's more about the person worth sharing. So we go into this deep excavation work of pulling out the why behind the individual, and we craft a 3 to 4 or 5 minute story around the why, and they get on stage in front of a live audience, and they share it. And of course, it's videotaped, and it's a beautiful piece of marketing material. But the movement really was to allow people to be inspired by the stories behind the entrepreneurs as a form of marketing. And of course, since COVID, any kind of live event gathering type business doesn't do very well. So we've gone primarily online, and really, using that same methodology, that same excavation process, and the same philosophy behind highlighting the why, and really assisting other entrepreneurs in creating beautiful customer engagement journeys. And the customer engagement journey essentially is a funnel, right? In marketing speak, but it's really about, how do you stand up, in front of an audience? How do you stand up in front of the world? Where are they? Where are you going to be? What are you going to say? And how are you going to say it to get them to viscerally, emotionally connect with you? Once that happens, then you can start talking about the what's, right? How has my purpose unfolded itself in today's economy, in today's world? And how is my purpose being delivered from a business perspective, right? So we help them figure out how to monetize on their purpose, essentially. So it's been a beautiful shift, especially now when a lot of people are questioning whether they should be working for the man or the women, the powerful corporate Americas and whatnot, and having no control. Something like this happens, and all of a sudden it's like, you have no control. So a lot of people are looking at, hey, how can I create my own business? How can I live into my purpose? What really does matter at the end of the day, right? Is it your 401k, or is it, being able to rest in peace that you've made an impact on this world? So it's been powerful in terms of assisting people to find a way to create a business.
And still working alongside the why. So tell me, what is the biggest mistakes that people make? Because this, in our conversation right now, and for anybody watching, this can feel like, it's an easy thing. Oh yeah, why? I'm sure. But so many entrepreneurs are really, really not clear of what this is. They know that they want to do good in the world. They know they want to make money. They want to help people. But their why is way deeper than that. And what would you say are the biggest mistakes that people make when they're trying to, connect with their why and make it more a core of how they're doing business?
So there's a couple things there. I think the definition of why, there's multiple versions of the definition of why. And a lot of people, I say, hey, why are you doing what you're doing? Oh, I want to make money so that I can, pay for my kids' college, which is a great reason, to make money. But for us, the why is really more about the stories in your childhood, the encounters that you've had, the experiences you've had. And some people even believe in the family lineage of traditions and even past life stuff that comes into play in terms of your makeup and your superpower, right? So it's really about being able to crystallize and verbalize your own superpower, and everybody's superpower is different. And then all the things that led to who you are today. Everything led you to who you are today kind of adds to that credibility component of your superpower. And then once you start showing the reasons, the stories, the experiences you had as a child, the relationship you had with your parents, or anything like that really were triggers for you to continue doing what you're doing, were reminders that you're on the right path. Those stories are extremely powerful when it comes to marketing. So the biggest mistake that we find that entrepreneurs have is that they concentrate very much on the what. Entrepreneurs are really, really great at kind of standing on their own mountain and yelling to the world, hey, this is what I do. And people typically say, great, good for you, pat on the back, keep doing what you're doing, I admire you. But it doesn't necessarily turn into monetization, right? And you need, unfortunately, money to, not unfortunately, but you need money to survive. So how do you monetize your purpose? And it's really about creating a path, this beautiful, irresistible path up this mountain towards you, right? So a lot of people think about, hey, this is what I do, but is there truly a irresistible path for a complete stranger to go from where they live into your kingdom, right? So that's kind of where what we specialize in. And 9 times out of 10, what it is that you're selling.
To go from where you live, just say it again, just I'm sure people didn't catch that.
So basically, where you are standing on top of a mountain, and what you do isn't necessarily what people are waking up thinking that they need, right? Even though what you do is powerful and people say great job, you have to repurpose this in a way to where it's something that they're thinking. It's a conversation that's already happening in their head, right? So that's the biggest mistake, is people say, hey, I offer X, but they need to really put on their thinking caps and say, hey, my perfect audience, what are they waking up with that is a result maybe of what I can help with? So it's really just about being able to paint your door differently, right? To paint your door with the conversation that's already happening in your audience's world. And once they come in, once they knock on your door and they're inside of your kingdom, then you can slowly unfold everything that you do that works, right? So I think that's the biggest mistake that we see with entrepreneurs, is they're great at telling people what they do, but it doesn't always sink in and resonate to their audience, right? So it's really about reframing that. And then through storytelling, right? Storytelling is a perfect segue of allowing people to kind of fall into that journey.
Absolutely. So listen, I want to say hi to the people that are watching us. I can't see any names here, but let us know where in the world you are and say hi. And if you have any questions for me or for Dan, pop them into the comments. We'd love to hear from you. I can see Bradley Allison is watching. Hi, Bradley. I let know where you are. So, and yeah, I just want to go back to what you're saying. Like, entrepreneurs talk all day long about what they do. It's like, this is the least problem that entrepreneurs have. And if anything, it's just like, shut up about what you do and tell us why you do it, right? And it's like, that when I'm helping entrepreneurs come up with their messaging, it's just that this dribble around process, what? And you're kind of like, no, nobody wants to know that, right? People really want to know. It's like, you know what Simon Sinek has notoriously said, people don't want to know what you do, they want to know why you do it. Yeah. But I love that. But I'd be interested to know what is the predominant conversation that most of us are waking up with in the morning, and our clients, and are we thinking about that? I used to say, you know, what's keeping your clients awake at night? But similarly, what are they waking up to every morning? You know, is it what you have to offer? And are you showing them that you are the person that can solve their problem or not, right?
Yeah. So another good question along what you just said is, you know, what email subject line do you have to create for somebody to open up your email at 9 o'clock at night?
That's such a good question.
So, you know, those are the types of questions, is really kind of reframing enough about what you do. It's fine, you have your business and that's important. But when it comes to marketing, it's really about, you know, the conversation that's going on in their heads and how do you put yourself there? And it's not just one, it's multiple. So you segment your audience and you figure out, you know, through testing, messaging, and all sorts of different methodologies of, you know, conversations that you can have with people, different methodologies too. But it's so much fun, Moira, to do what we do, because it's showing up in such a bigger way, and it's so critical today as people are questioning. You know, they're questioning everything, and you know, for those of us that have been doing some work and have been really kind of trying to find our own purposes, we can definitely shed a lot of light and help people along the way. And that's what really matters at the end of the day, right? Is really helping people to be their higher self and be the best they can be. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, there was a time that, you know, this kind of language, your higher self and your energy and your vibration was kind of like, yeah, whatever. But now it just seems to be like, there's a whole like collective that is the conversation that, you know, and probably that's accelerated hugely in the last 6 months more than ever, because everything is so energetic at the moment between what we think about what's going on, the truth about what's going on, and what really is going on, you know? But yeah, I love it. And I think that more than ever, people are so confused about their why. And also, I think, what do you think about this? Do you think that people are starting to think even bigger than they were before? Do you think that this sort of, time where, we can't be outside as much, we can't be doing those things, is actually, you would almost think that people would be thinking smaller, but I'm finding that people are thinking way bigger. People are thinking way more purposeful about what they want to do, but how what they're going to do is going to impact the world. I know I am with my business. Are you finding that with your clients, Dan?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, just look at fear, right? Look at fear, and how much has that energy, which is an energy, how much has that energy affected the world? And it really has. Like I almost want to say it's the fear virus.
Yeah.
And so much damage is being done through fear, and so much manipulation can be done through fear. So when you realize that, and when you stop, and when you start really thinking about what matters, or even just the simplicity of, why am I feeling the way that I'm feeling being quarantined at home? Is it because I am a tribal person, right? Do I need other people's energy? Do I need to be around other people? What is it about this freedom that I feel like is being taken away from me, right? Those types of questions you start thinking is like, okay, is freedom visiting my friend? What does freedom really mean? And you start thinking about what is important to you, and how do you satisfy that itch through, as a meditation, through other means. And you do. I hope people are thinking, at least the people that we're encountering are definitely thinking more about their impact and what really matters. And so much of it is, we're living this life. We've been living this life of, everything is just on a hamster wheel. You wake up at a certain time, your kids go to school, and then they finish school, they go to college, and blah, 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 blah. And it's just this wheel. All of a sudden, there's this huge pattern interrupt where, okay, guess what? We're not going to school anymore. And you get to homeschool, or you get to do whatever you do, and everything comes into question. It's like, okay, so what are my kids really good at, right? If you have children, and what are they going to miss out by going to school from home, and how can I supplement that? And then people that have more time is like, what the hell am I going to do with all this new time on my hands? What kind of books am I going to read, right? Those types of questions really are any kind of pattern interrupt, I believe, makes you think a lot deeper about why you do what you do.
I love that. It totally does. And for someone who was globetrotting the world up until now, I'm just like, all of a sudden, I'm like, what the hell am I doing with my time anyway? Because all of a sudden I have all this time back. But more than anything, it's brought to light of what I absolutely do not want to be spending of my time doing whatsoever. Like, I only want to be doing things that I'm enjoying, and not putting up with shit as much anymore, right? You're just kind of like, no, I absolutely will not tolerate such things anymore. And also, we're in the places that you're hanging out. I think we're in this climate of being able to be way more selective with what we do, because everything is so kind of curated. It's more curated than it was before, and you've got so much more data before you even step into things. Whereas before, you just got in a car and showed up at an event or something. Right. You kind of walked in, and one conversation, had freedom, whereas you don't now. It's all quite controlled. So you want to be. Do you know what I'm saying? Are you finding that as well?
Absolutely, absolutely. And so many of our clients who have traditional, geographically limited businesses, and with a slight pivot, all of a sudden, the entire world becomes their clients, and there's no boundaries anymore in terms of what you can create. And I know, Maura, you're a speaker, and depending, you're traveling a lot, and I love what you've done with the dinners. Yeah, and that's a complete global networking event, right? As opposed to driving to the local restaurant or whatever. Now you get to meet people from all over the world and all walks of life. And as a result, you get to be a lot pickier, right? You can find the exact people that you want to interact with that are aligned with who you are.
Totally. And it's right now, it feels like you're almost going, when I look at my friends list, sometimes you're kind of shopping for interesting people. You're who you invite versus kind of throwing a net out and hoping that you catch something. It's the world that's definitely shifting, because now it's more it's more about curation as opposed to crossing your fingers and kind of hoping for the best and hoping your marketing works. But I see there's about 10 people watching us, and I can't see your names because of this interface with Facebook, and I can't see you on my phone either. So do say hello. Don't be strangers. Hi, Eva. I think Eva must be in the UK. So Eva actually works in digital marketing. Eva, you should totally be following Dan Lievens and what he's doing. But if you're just joining the conversation, we started to talk about what subject line could make somebody open an email at 9 o'clock at night. So I don't know if that's a question that you're asking your clients, Eva, but I'd love this. But I'd love to know, what are some of those subject lines that people are using to get people to open their emails at like 9 o'clock at night? Give us some give us some fun things because there's one thing I've noticed about my own inbox. I'm always so curious about. I was like, why did I just open that email? Because there's some of them you just jump on, and then there's others you're like I just wouldn't even think twice about opening them.
So I think it really depends on who you're working with, right? I think, and it depends on what your purpose is, right? So for us, we're not special. We're not experts at blanket marketing, right? Blanket marketing is billboards on interstates or large Facebook ads or those types of things. For us, it's really about how do you identify the exact individuals that you want to work with, spend some time researching on that, and then tapping them on the shoulders, and basically in the back of your mind you're saying, hey, guess what, you and I are going to go on a date, right? And start a relationship. And from that perspective, and really drilling down on that individual and figuring out what their pain points are, right? What exactly are they feeling that you feel like you can show up for and assist in elevating them? Every single funnel, every single journey that we create for our clients are completely different, based on what they do and how they plan on elevating the person. The biggest thing that we've done lately is this concept that we call value cylinder. And there's a lot of noise out there, right? There's a lot of emails, there's a lot of social media platforms and whatnot. To us, what a value cylinder is, it's really a sequence of it's a formula of about 22 or so emails that are designed to create that relationship. And why we call it a value cylinder is it's your purpose really is to give people value and elevate them like a cylinder. You're slowly filling up the cylinder. And there are formulas that we use in psychology that we use to establish that relationship, right? So when you go on a date, you don't invite them to go on a vacation day one, right? There's certain things that you don't do. It's really about opening your heart up and listening. The big thing is make your audience feel like you truly understand what their pain points are. Make sure that they know that you truly understand the complexity of their lives. That's a huge one. And once they see, oh my God, this person actually understands where I'm coming from, then you immediately try and solve a small problem for them, or an exercise, or depending on what you do, a small problem that you can just fix. Hey, try this on for a moment, whether it's meditation, whether it's thoughts, whether it's a movement or anything like that. Then they're like, oh, okay, so I need to keep this person around, right? This person not only understands me, but they can also assist me. So I will never hit the unsubscribe button, even though I may not have time to read every single one of their emails, right? So that's a huge way to establish a relationship within the first 3 days, to be able to do that. Once you've done that, then you can slowly kind of continue through social proof and through making some offers here and there. It's just a delicate relationship. Like how do you want to be courted, right? How do we want to be treated?
So way of going about this. So I want to say hello to Annie, who's watching. She's saying hello to Moira and Dan. Hi Annie, how are you doing?
Hi Annie.
And Stacey Green Lievens is watching us. Dan.
Wonder who she is.
Same name as you. Hi Stacey, nice to see you here. Let us know, guys, if you have any questions about what Dan and I are talking about today. If you do, pop them in the comments, and I will have Dan answer them for you. I don't know if Annie and Eva are thinking what I think, but every time I see you, Dan, I always think of Keanu Reeves. Which is not a bad compliment for a bad insult for a man, right? Stacey, you must know what I mean.
I do get that. Halloween's super easy for me. I just wear a black cape and some sunglasses and we're set.
It's just the tricks, right?
So I feel like I didn't quite answer your question about the email subject line. So I am going to throw one thing out there.
Yeah.
I do keep a document every time I get it, every time I open an email. So I try to subscribe to everything and just to see what's working and opt-ins and whatnot. And anytime I see something great, it's like, wow, I open that email, I copy and paste that subject line into a document just so that I can, use it as inspiration. And one that came through, I can't remember, I should write the source of this, but the subject line was super simple. It said, remind me about your business, ... Right. So if you break that down, it's like, wow, somebody cares about me, right? You're not trying to sell something, but I thought that was a really, it was a mass email, but it made me open it, right? So it's really, again, case in point of how do you want to be treated and applying that theory and thinking it through. And essentially, that email is like, hey, somebody, is making me feel heard, right? You want to make your audience feel like you understand them. You want to make your audience feel like you care about them. So anyway, I just wanted to answer at least with one email subject line so people can walk away with something.
Absolutely. But just what you're saying, it's just that I think that, some people just have no idea that, just subscribing to other people's lists, especially people who are somewhat aligned with you, and just watching what's working for them, but even just to pay attention to yourself and how you're reacting because that's what I always know. I'm like, how come I just like reach straight for that email out of all of the emails? Like, this stuff is really powerful because having people open your emails, I mean, they're already making a micro commitment of some sorts that they're interested in you in some way. And I guess the idea is that you just have them keep opening, and then when the time is right, that there could be an opportunity to deepen that relationship, right?
Sure. And then the other advice that I would give to people that are listening out there is, don't be afraid to partner with somebody or to either form a mastermind or find out what other people are doing, whether you're paying for a service or paying for a company to help you out. Because what we've noticed as a quote unquote, full marketing agency, so we ideate, we create everything, we write everything, we also do the technology implementation of funnels, and we do everything for people. The most powerful thing that we've been able to leverage is the fact that we do have all these clients, and we are trying things every day. We're trying summits, we're trying video opt-ins, we're trying free online courses, we're trying all sorts of different things. And watching the behavioral patterns change over the last 6 months has been so powerful. And you kind of, if you don't believe in energy, I mean, come on, like really look at groupthink, look at, when in February and then in March and into April, it's like people were opening everything. They were like curious, they were hungry. And then all of a sudden you don't use the word pivot anymore in any conversation because it's completely overused. And people are trying to unsubscribe, and there's just this flow of like how people are behaving, and what are they looking for? So to be able to join a mastermind or join a group of thought leaders, or even hiring an agency to help you that have other clients in a similar field is critical at this point. Because why reinvent the wheel? Why experiment over and over again? And by doing it yourself, it's like you're behind the wheel. You're not behind the wheel. You're behind the times, because by the time you figure it out, things may have already changed. So I would encourage everybody to join any kind of groups or masterminds or just be a collective and share ideas. I think that's the best thing that we can do as thought leaders, as change agents, is to join forces with other people, especially now, just to share and collaborate and make an impact together would be a lot more powerful.
On a different narrative, or a narrative you feel passionate about, because there's so much going on in the world. Like, it's almost like there's, like I was saying it today to somebody, it's like there's the world out there and then there's the world in here. It is becoming a bit like the Matrix, It's like when you close your laptop, you're like, okay, so this is what's going on out there. And then you're just so in a zone, like with your, like I was saying, like you can just, curate all these groups and like, check out who's in the group. And then like, nah, I'm not going in there. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's so true. So what have you noticed that have been like, a trend that has changed in terms of email marketing, Dan, in the last few months? Is it still like one of the most popular forms of marketing, or what?
I think it depends on the industry that you're in. Email marketing definitely still works, and there's a lot of so we have some health and wellness clients, and it's been a real challenge on social platforms to advertise and get in front of the right group. There's a lot of censoring going on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a lot of blocking of things. It's crazy. I mean, I guess I can understand it. So to be able to scrape the information, to be able to own it, whether I mean, I think the best thing is if you can get people's cell phones and do SMS marketing, that's super powerful. I mean, that's very personal. People don't ignore that. You can't just spam filter that shows up on your phone. Emails, the open rate kind of varies. It's going down a little bit now. Was pretty high a couple months ago, but I still believe that
the current industry standard for open rates? Is it still like 20, 23, 24%?
we are thrilled with anything above 20 at this point, and we've seen I mean, highly curated lists that people with double opt-ins. There's open rates up to 60%, and then there's the big spam list, which are at 1-2%. Really depends on the quality of your list. And that's kind of what we really want to specialize in, is like we don't want numbers, we want quality. And so again, going back to the tapping on the shoulders and being able to identify the individuals that you want to work with. Even LinkedIn, with Sales Navigator, you can really drill down on who you want to target, or even like you mentioned, Simon Sinek. Go to Simon Sinek's page and look at his posts and look at who's interacting with him. Right, people that are interacting and commenting on his posts are your prospects. So
Yeah.
look and see where they work, look and see what they do, and then figure out like what do you think their pain points are, and then be a genuine post that people can lean on. Right, be there for them, and it's not manipulative sales. It's really like, what, I have a gift. And when you know your why, and when you are so clear, crystal clear on your purpose, you have no hesitation about what you do. And when you stand in your power and say, hey, this specific thing I have spent my entire life working on, and this is where I can help, right? And if you stand in that purpose and that power, it's no longer a sales conversation. You're almost inviting pursuit from people. And I think all of us need to be open too. It's like, I suck at money. I have a money coach, right? I'm not the best at physical things. I have a couple of different physical coaches, and it's okay to lean on other people. It just empowers you to have a bigger and better team. I think I went on a couple tangents there. Did I answer your question, Laura?
Well, I was really enjoying everything you were saying, but I can just imagine like the confidence, the authority, the influence that it would give you to be so clear on your why and your purpose that you are a complete stand for it. I mean, I've even, I find that, as speakers, even when I look back at, me speaking like 3 years ago, it was the journey of speaking that helped me really uncover the why behind why I was speaking. And, connecting with you and being part of the proof was a big part of that. Of my business where I wasn't clear. I was, everything was a bit shaded around that time, where, coming out of that now, I feel so much more clear on it. So it's just like, now it's like, give me that microphone, let me tell you what's going on.
Right.
And we need more people to be like that, right? Because if there was ever a time where people need to be heard more and not to be afraid of speaking their truth or what their opinions are, it's right now. And starting with your why and your purpose, just, this just gets me so excited because it's so accessible for people. This does not have to be complicated, right?
It really doesn't. And we actually put together a absolutely free, there's no upsells or anything like that, a free course to help people kind of begin to scrape a little bit into that arena of your true why. It's called excavateyourwhy.com. So anybody that is interested in doing that, again, completely free. There's no hooks. It's a series of questions and exercises that we have found to be extremely powerful to help people, think about, crystallizing and putting more meaning and being dialed into their why. For me, it's our gift to the world, so that people can find a way to be more aligned, more purposeful, and make the world a better place, essentially, right?
Brilliant. I love it. That's who I want this course. I'm just popping a wee note into the chat. How can people access it, Dan?
Just go to excavateyourwhy.com.
Okay, let me just pop that in here.
Thanks.
Your why. Is that right? Excavate your why. Okay, there you go. Guys, Dan's just given you a free course on how to excavate your why. So grab it. I love Dan's work, him and his beautiful wife, Stacy. So if you want a copy of it, go to Excavate Your Why and grab it. And if you want to follow Dan on social, Dan Lievens?
Yeah, so facebook.com/Dan Lievens, and also our big portal for all of our speakers is witnesstheproof.com. So there you can see a lot of different variations of individuals that have gone through our process and being able to kind of crystallize their why a little bit more. That's witnesstheproof.com.
Yeah, and totally check this out, because the talks in this are really great. And I think it's really great for speakers as well, just to get a sense of what works, and then different people's styles. Because I know I've watched a few of those videos myself, and they've really given me lots of ideas. I actually watched my video back recently. It's just mad in this entrepreneurial space how fast things move. It just feels like so long ago now. When was that? Last summer? Was it last?
Yeah, it was last summer. It was.
Oh my God. But anyway, it was an absolutely brilliant experience. Any sign of you recreating a virtual version of that? Is that on the cards for you guys?
It is. We've been thinking a lot about it. And one of the things that we're really helping thought leaders at this point is, creating your own version of the proof stage. And what I mean by that is that if you have an overarching purpose, you have an overarching will to, cure the world of something, is to think about leveraging, your constituents, the people that your clients or your partners, leveraging them to tell a story and empowering them to tell stories with this same overarching theme. The idea is that you can then penetrate different cultures and different contexts and different groups by inspiring them to share messages that elevate them as well as elevate the greater purpose. That's a much deeper kind of a marketing thing that we're doing now. But essentially, it's the same as the proof. The proof was really, hey, let's dial into your why. Let's help shine a light on your purpose. So whatever world that you're in as an entrepreneur, think about how you can leverage your constituents and elevate them, helping them tell stories within their networks for this greater purpose. Storytelling is absolutely so. It's been around for decades. I mean, the reason that we still have language is because of stories. Super powerful, and it's genuine. And now more so than ever, let's figure out exactly what our own individual superpower is, and just stay in your lane and do just that. Don't get distracted, and encourage others to do the same thing.
So, 2 key things: stay in your lane and don't get distracted.
That's 2 things that entrepreneurs find extremely hard to do, right?
Yeah, you're today, there tomorrow. You're like, what the hell happened? It was like all set in stone, and now you're. But I just want to say hi to Geraldine and Veronica. Veronica saying she loves the text message reminders prior to events. I actually really appreciate a text message reminder, even like for calls. I'm always like, oh, that's really good, because it's a different type of reminder. And then we just have Miguel Sanchez tuning in as well. Was Miguel on the event, on the Secret Suppers Worldwide event that you attended, Dan? I don't think he was.
I don't think so.
All right, so Miguel, I'm Miguel. So Miguel is actually one of my faculty for the Secret Suppers Worldwide Facilitators Training, and he's all about teaching people how to tell their stories, but you guys would get on so well. He has a great story himself, and I told him about the proof stage. I was just like, you've got to connect with Dan. They would just, oh my God, you would just be blown away with his story. But yeah, hopefully you guys can connect after this as well, and maybe he can also access your course that's there too.
For
So
sure.
thank you so much for being a super awesome guest. Is there anything that you want to share before we close? People can access your course through excavateyourwhy.com, and they can follow you as well on social at Dan Lievens. And anything else?
No, that's it. And for those listening, I just want to I hope it's okay for me to say this publicly. The invitation to one of your dinners, Maura, was fabulous. It was one of the best experiences that I've had in the last 6 months in terms of networking. You had people from the UK, you had people from all over the world, and each bringing their own like light to the dinner table and being able to share. It was the fastest hour and a half that I've ever gone through for sure. Super engaging. So anybody that has the opportunity to, please take her up on her invitation. That was so powerful. Thank you, Maura.
Oh, Dan, thank you so much. It's so good to hear you say that, because I was honored to have you as a guest. So what I will do based on that, I will put the application form for Secret Suppers Worldwide into the chat as well. And if you want to be a guest, it's a complimentary invitation. I just want to make sure you're not crazy before I invite you to a room. That's all. Don't shoot me. But thank you so much. And Miguel saying, I'd love to connect. I like the simplicity of your message and how you explain your storytelling. So Miguel definitely wants to connect with you, Dan. And I see Paul Healy tuning in from Singapore. Him and his son actually have this really cool. You'll actually love this, Dan. So they've got this thing called it's called Uni Conference, where they choose so many topics. They get a whole bunch of people in a room, and then everybody puts their own topic on a board, and then everybody then chooses which topic they want to go listen to. And there's like about 10 talks going on at the one time. So I don't know how they're managing to do it virtually, but I think you would also love to do something like that, Dan. So Paul Healy, he's watching, and maybe you can connect with them and share your why on their stage too, and maybe
Fantastic.
that.
Yeah, I lived in Singapore for 3 years, so I'd love to connect.
All right, brilliant. Him and his son are doing amazing things. I met them in Bali, like really cool people too. So yeah, thanks everybody. It's great to see you. And thanks for tuning in with the amazing Dan Lievens. Always a pleasure. And I will see you soon with another amazing guest. And maybe I'll see you on one of my Secret Suppers soon.
Thank you, Maura. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.